There's a theme that runs throughout much of the Bible that looks something like this. Humans try to do things on their own, and in doing so, they either mess things up, or they make already bad situations even worse. Then, even though the humans have been fighting against God and don't deserve his help, God steps in and saves them by doing something that nobody would have ever expected. And this is how God saved the family of Abraham for thousands of years, so we shouldn't be surprised that this is also how God chose to fulfill his promise and bless the entire world. When Jesus came, people had pretty high expectations. The long-awaited Savior had finally come, and not only had Jesus come, but he was also God at the same time. Whatever Jesus was going to do, it was going to be amazing. It couldn't be anything other than amazing. So imagine people's surprise when, at the high point of his public ministry, Jesus gave himself up to the authorities and allowed them to kill him by hanging him on a cross. That's not what anybody expected, and yet, as we'll see, we couldn't have been saved any other way. No matter how it looked, God's plan really was perfect. Jesus told his followers that he would be rejected and killed, and then he willingly accepted a criminal's death even though he was innocent. Why would he do this? How could this help anyone? Well, here's how. Jesus didn't come to fight the authorities and make life easier. This wouldn't help us because our biggest need isn't to be saved from difficult or painful lives, but to be saved from sin and from the punishment we deserve because of our sin. And Jesus didn't come to teach us just so we could be better people. That wouldn't help us either, because even if we could get better, we've already sinned and earned our punishment. Jesus came and died because, in doing so, he took the punishment that we deserve for our sin, and he suffered it in our place. God is a perfect judge, and so he doesn't allow sin to go unpunished. But God is also loving and merciful, and by sending his son to die in our place, God accomplished something that before had seemed impossible. When Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross, God punished our sin while also letting us, the sinners, go free. God forgave us, not by just forgetting about our sin, but by choosing to suffer our punishment in our place. So when Jesus died, it continued the same theme that we talked about before. Humans couldn't do anything on their own, and so, even though they didn't deserve it, God saved them in a way that nobody expected, and God saved them in a way that only God could. And, as we'll hear tomorrow, God wasn't done doing things that were unexpected.